Today, I'm exposing the 5 worst things you can do to your kidneys. We're ranking them from serious to the one single habit that is destroying more kidneys in America than every other cause on this list combined. Number 1 is currently destroying more kidneys than every other poison combined, and chances are you consumed it before 9 a.m. today. Identifying these 5 triggers is the literal difference between keeping your independence or facing a decade of steady renal decline. For the people who need this information most, the goal isn't just a better lab result. It's staying out of a hospital bed and keeping the freedom to live life on your own terms. No jargon, no fluff. Just the clinical reality your doctor never shared. Once you cross 60, your kidneys operate with a much smaller margin of error. Think of them like the brakes on a car with 200,000 miles. They still work, but they don't respond like they used to. The 5 things I'm naming today hit that system harder now than they ever did at 45. Poison number 5, chronic dehydration. After 60, your body quietly stops telling you when you're running low on fluid. The thirst mechanism weakens with age. Research confirms it. Older adults can be clinically dehydrated and feel nothing. No urge, no warning. Just a daily deficit your kidneys absorb silently. Here's what that deficit does. Your kidneys need strong, consistent blood flow to filter waste. When fluid drops, even mildly, blood flow to the kidneys constricts. Waste products that should be flushed out begin concentrating inside kidney tissue itself. Creatinine builds, uric acid builds. Repeated exposure to that concentrated environment damages the microscopic tubules, the fine internal channels responsible for the final stage of filtration, day after day without a single symptom. Now, if you're thinking, I drink coffee every morning, I can't be dehydrated. Coffee is a diuretic. It pulls fluid out. Tea, alcohol, high-sodium foods, all of them deepen your deficit rather than solve it. The only thing that counts toward real hydration is plain water. And after 60, drinking by thirst alone is no longer a strategy. That signal can no longer be trusted. Here is a self-check you can do right now without any equipment. Look at the color of your urine the next time you use the bathroom. Pale yellow, almost clear? That means you are adequately hydrated. Dark yellow, amber, or anything approaching orange means your kidneys are currently filtering at low volume. Most older adults who see that color assume it's normal. It is common. It is not normal. That color is your kidney tissue telling you it is working under strain. The fix is specific. 2 full glasses of plain water first thing every morning, before coffee, before food, before anything else. This single habit replenishes the overnight deficit and starts your kidneys' first filtration cycle with the volume they need. Set a phone reminder at lunch and again mid-afternoon for 1 more glass. Each time, you are not waiting to feel thirsty. You are running a schedule. That is the entire strategy, and it costs nothing. Poison number 4, hidden sodium. Most people I talk to believe they've already handled the sodium problem. They put the shaker away, they cook at home. They're genuinely proud of that. But here's what they don't know. The salt shaker was never the main source. Not even close. More than 70% of the sodium in the American diet comes preloaded inside packaged food, already in there before you open it. It's in bread, canned soup, deli meat, frozen meals, breakfast cereal, bottled salad dressing, cheese. It frequently doesn't even taste salty. A single can of soup can carry over 800 milliliters of sodium. 2 slices of deli turkey, 600. A tablespoon of soy sauce, nearly 900. Most people eating what they believe is a reasonable diet are running at 3,500 to 4,000 milligrams a day. The kidney protective ceiling is 2,300. There's also a label trap I need to warn you about. Products marked low sodium or reduced sodium are not necessarily safe. They are simply lower than the original version of that product. A reduced sodium soup may still contain 500 milligrams per serving. That label is a comparison to itself, not a recommendation for your kidneys. Always go to the actual milligram number on the nutrition panel. The marketing on the front is written by the sales team. The number on the back is the truth. Why does this matter for your kidneys specifically? When sodium floods your system, your body retains water to dilute it. That retained water increases the total volume of blood in your arteries. Higher volume means higher pressure, and that pressure runs directly through the tiny, fragile capillaries inside your kidney filters, structures so delicate that sustained pressure physically damages them. The National Kidney Foundation identifies high blood pressure as the second leading cause of kidney failure in the United States. Hidden dietary sodium is one of its most consistent drivers. The fix takes 2 minutes at the grocery store. Flip every package over before it goes in your cart. Find the sodium line. If a single serving contains more than 600 milligrams, that product is worth reconsidering. Identify your 3 highest sodium regular purchases and swap them. And for canned vegetables, rinse them under running water before cooking. That one step removes up to 40% of the added sodium. Specific swaps your kidneys register within weeks. Poison number 3. Daily over-the-counter NSAIDs. This is the one I find hardest to talk about. It involves something millions of older Americans rely on for real daily pain. Arthritis is real. Back pain that has been there for years is real. I am not here to dismiss any of that. But what is also real is the mechanism. Most people have only ever read the warning label. They've never been shown the biology. So let me show you. Daily NSAID use, ibuprofen, naproxen, Aleve, sold over the counter, trusted by millions. For occasional use, a reasonable tool. But daily use in adults over 60 is a direct, documented threat to kidney function. And the damage doesn't begin after years. It begins within the first month. Your kidneys maintain blood flow through their filters using compounds called prostaglandins. Think of them as pressure regulators, keeping the blood vessels feeding your kidney tissue open and working. NSAIDs work by blocking the enzyme that produces prostaglandins throughout your entire body. That is how they kill pain. But they do not distinguish between the prostaglandins inflaming your knee and the prostaglandins protecting your kidneys. Both get blocked. Blood flow to the kidney filters drops. Oxygen delivery drops. The filters begin sustaining damage that, repeated daily, becomes permanent scarring. A large study published in the BMJ found that regular NSAID use was associated with a 20 to 50% increased risk of accelerated kidney decline starting in the first month. There is a second layer to this that affects older adults specifically. Many people over 60 are managing more than one condition and taking more than one medication. NSAIDs interact badly with several of the most commonly prescribed drugs in this age group. ACE inhibitors, diuretics, blood pressure medications among them. That combination can accelerate kidney damage far beyond what either drug does alone. If you are on any prescription medication for your heart, blood pressure, or fluid retention, and you are also taking daily over-the-counter NSAIDs, your doctor needs to know. Those two things together are not a safe combination without active monitoring. So what do you do with real ongoing pain? 3 things. First, acetaminophen works through a completely different mechanism. It does not block the prostaglandins protecting your kidneys. For musculoskeletal pain, it is frequently equally effective. Second, topical diclofenac gel applied directly to the joint delivers anti-inflammatory relief locally without the systemic effect that damages kidneys. Ask your pharmacist specifically for it. Third, if you are currently taking daily oral NSAIDs, ask your doctor to check 2 specific numbers, your creatinine and your eGFR. These tell you exactly where your kidney function stands right now. Many people on daily NSAIDs have never had those numbers checked since starting. That conversation is overdue. Poison number 2, phosphate additives. Take any packaged food you've eaten in the last 24 hours. Turn it over. Find the ingredient list, the long paragraph most people skip entirely. On the majority of ultra-processed foods sold in this country, somewhere inside that list is a category of additive doing something specific and almost entirely unknown to your kidney filters. It hides under names that sound technical and harmless: disodium phosphate, calcium phosphate, phosphoric acid, sodium hexametaphosphate. The food industry uses these to improve texture, extend shelf life, and intensify flavor. They are in baked goods, deli meats, frozen meals, cola beverages, fast food, processed cheese slices, instant noodles, and packaged coffee creamers. Products you bought this very week for your kitchen. Your kidneys are responsible for filtering excess phosphorus from your blood. When you eat whole foods, fish, chicken, beans, the phosphorus is bound to organic compounds your body absorbs at around 40 to 60%. Manageable. But the phosphorus in synthetic phosphate additives is absorbed at over 90%. It floods the bloodstream. In a kidney already operating at reduced capacity, that flood cannot be fully cleared. Phosphorus accumulates in the blood. The body responds by pulling calcium from bones to try to rebalance it, which is why chronic kidney disease and bone loss so often appear together. And inside kidney tissue, the sustained phosphate overload triggers internal scarring, the fibrosis that marks the final stage of kidney disease progression. The identification step is simple. Scan any ingredient list for the letters PHOS. Any product with multiple phosphate additives is a product your kidneys are quietly paying a price for. Replace it with a whole food equivalent where the phosphorus is bound, absorbed slowly, and manageable. That one habit, scanning for PHOS before you buy, takes 3 seconds and changes what enters your bloodstream at every single meal. And now, number 1, added sugar and refined carbohydrates. The worst kidney poison in the American diet. The one I saved for last, not for drama, but because this one does not attack from one direction. It runs 4 simultaneous lines of attack on your kidneys, all silent, all compounding, different pathways converging on the same destination. Added sugar and its identical twin, refined carbohydrates. White bread, white rice, crackers, sweetened cereal, flavored yogurt, fruit juice. Not occasional indulgences, but daily defaults, repeated across meals, snacks, and routines without pause or awareness. They feel familiar, convenient, harmless. But that familiarity hides speed. These foods are stripped of fiber and structure, so digestion is immediate. They convert into glucose rapidly. No delay, no buffering, just a sharp rise directly into the bloodstream. One spike alone is not the issue. It is the repetition, morning, afternoon, evening, day after day, year after year. That repeated glucose load becomes the primary driver behind type 2 diabetes, now the leading cause of kidney failure in this country. Not a single event of damage, but a sustained metabolic environment. Front 1. The diabetes destruction pathway. Each rise in glucose triggers insulin release from the pancreas, a signal instructing cells to absorb sugar and restore balance. With constant exposure, cells begin to respond less effectively to insulin. This is insulin resistance. The body compensates by producing more insulin, attempting to force glucose into cells that are no longer responding normally. Over time, glucose remains elevated longer than it should. The baseline shifts upward. Sustained elevation changes chemistry at the molecular level. Glycation begins. Excess glucose binds directly to proteins, forming advanced glycation end products inside the kidneys. Filtration structures depend on thin, flexible membranes. Glycation stiffens these proteins, thickens the filters, reduces elasticity and selectivity. Waste clearance becomes less efficient. Pressure inside filtering units increases. Subtle strain builds with every repeated exposure. Because this process produces no immediate symptoms, no pain, no warning signal, it continues unchecked. Each cycle adds to the last. Each spike compounds the previous one. Over time, what was once temporary metabolic stress becomes persistent structural damage, accumulating silently within the kidney filtration system. This is the fastest route to dialysis that exists, and it begins years before any diabetes diagnosis appears on a blood test. Front 2. Blood pressure through the back door. A high-sugar diet raises blood pressure through a mechanism completely separate from sodium. Fructose, the component in table sugar and high-fructose corn syrup, directly drives uric acid production, which triggers your kidney's own internal pressure system, independent of salt intake. Controlling sodium while ignoring sugar is only half a defense. Both pathways are running simultaneously. Front 3. Inflammation that scars from within. Added sugar drives chronic low-grade inflammation by producing compounds that accumulate specifically in kidney tissue, trigger immune responses, and promote internal fibrosis. Front 4. The foods doing the most damage are the ones marketed as safe choices. Low-fat yogurt with fruit on the bottom, 26 grams of added sugar. A serving of popular granola, 18 grams. A glass of orange juice, 24 grams. A protein bar marketed as a health food, often 20 to 25 grams. An older adult eating what they've been told is a healthy breakfast can consume 80 grams of added sugar before 9 a.m. Here is what you do in order of impact. First, eliminate liquid sugar entirely. Sodas, fruit juice, sweetened coffee drinks. These deliver glucose directly into your bloodstream with no fiber, no slowdown of any kind. Replacing them with plain water or unsweetened tea is the single highest impact dietary change available to you for kidney protection. Second, find the added sugars line on every nutrition label. Not total sugars, added sugars. Any product showing more than 10 grams per serving deserves a replacement. Third, swap refined carbohydrates for intact whole grains, oats, barley, lentils, where the fiber slows glucose absorption by 40 to 60%. Not elimination, just replacement. Treat low-fat products as a warning sign, not a health signal. 5 poisons, all of them ordinary, all of them operating inside the daily routines of millions of older Americans without a single symptom to mark the damage they are doing. But here is what I want you to hold on to when you finish reading this. Every item on that list is a decision. Not one catastrophic decision, but dozens of small ones, made possible only because someone finally explained what was actually happening inside your body. You decide whether to drink water before the coffee. You decide whether to flip the package over in the store. You decide whether to pick up the phone and ask your doctor about those daily NSAIDs. You decide whether to scan for foes before it goes in your cart. None of these require a perfect day. None of them require a dramatic life overhaul. One better choice today compounds into a different trajectory 6 months from now. The people in your life who need this information are not going to find it on their own. They don't know the specific question to ask. Share this with someone you care about, your spouse, your sibling, your neighbor. This information only saves people if it reaches them in time. Your kidneys work for you every second of every day. Start working for them.